15. The blank usually prepares the MSDS of a hazardous substance. A. The manufacturer or distributor. B. The supplier or the shipper. C. The end user or the buyer. D. The shipper or the receiver. The correct answer is A. The manufacturer or distributor. Explanation. MSDS stands for Material Safety Data Sheet, now often called SD. S for Safety Data Sheet. This document provides detailed information about a hazardous chemical, including its properties, hazards, and safety precautions. Responsibility of the manufacturer or distributor. According to OSHA regulations, the manufacturer or distributor of a hazardous chemical is responsible for creating and providing the MSDS. 16. To inform workers of hazards a chemical may pose. OSHA requires employers to develop a Hazardous Materials Program. B. Hazardous Waste Program. C. Hazard Communication Program. D. Worker Right to Know Program. The correct answer is C. Hazard Communication Program. Explanation. Hazard Communication Program (HCP). This program, mandated by OSHA, ensures that employees are informed about the hazards associated with the chemicals they work with, including access to safety data sheets (SDS), and proper training on safe handling and use of these chemicals. 17. Health hazards of a given chemical would be found in what section of the MSDS? A. Section 2. B. Section 4. C. Section 6. D. Section 8. The correct answer is 8. Section 2. Explanation. Section 2 Hazard S Identification. This section of the MSDS clearly outlines all the hazards associated with a chemical, including its potential health effects. 18. Personal protective clothing and equipment for safe handling of the chemical would be discussed in what section of the MSDS? A. Section 2. B. Section 4. C. Section 6. D. Section 8. The correct answer is D. Section 8. Explanation. Section 8 of an MSDS Material Safety Data Sheet is dedicated to exposure controls and personal protection. This section outlines the necessary measures to minimize worker exposure to a chemical, including the appropriate personal protective equipment (PPE) required for safe handling. 19. Permissible exposure limits are levels of exposures mandated by A. USCG, B. OSHA, C. ACGIH, D. EPA. The correct answer is B. OSHA. Explanation. OSHA Occupational Safety and Health Administration. This is the U.S. government agency responsible for setting and enforcing permissible exposure limits (PELs) for hazardous substances in the workplace. 20. OSHA's PEL for hydrogen fluoride HF is A. 1.0 mg per cubic meter, B. 2.0 mg per cubic meter, C. 1.5 ppm, D. 3.0 ppm. The correct answer is D. 3.0 ppm. Explanation. OSHA's permissible exposure limit PEL for hydrogen fluoride HF is 3 parts per million ppm, averaged over an 8-hour work shift. 21 National Priorities List (NPL) are dangerous sites targeted for cleanup under A. Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, B. Environmental Protection Act, C. Superfund Act, D. Hazardous Materials Transportation Act. The correct answer is C. Superfund Act. Explanation. Superfund Act (CERCLA). This federal law, officially known as the Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation, and Liability Act (CERCLA), was enacted in 1980 to address the cleanup of contaminated sites, including abandoned hazardous waste sites. NPL as part of Superfund. The National Priorities List (NPL) is a list of sites created and maintained under CERCLA that are considered potentially contaminated to warrant further investigation and cleanup.